Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about some really good stuff, and we're going to be hopefully changing the way that you think about Craigslist. I'm going to be showing you how to effectively use Craigslist in a way that doesn't consume your time, but the goal of teaching you how to do it this way and hopefully getting you to view it this way is so that you can spend a small amount of time and not let Craigslist be consuming, because in the end, Craigslist, it does generate leads, it does generate traffic, but it's such a short-sighted approach. And if you truly want to be successful, my recommendation is that if Craigslist has to be a part of your marketing strategy, make sure that you are always moving away from it. Always moving away from it. With Craigslist, you do the work and then it's gone, and then you have to do it again and do it again, and it's constantly changing, and the structure of it, with it being community moderated, there's just so many variables that are absolutely out of your control that you constantly need to be moving away from Craigslist into better ways of creating sustainable traffic. And in this premium members area of this website, we're going to be talking about a lot of those different things, but in this video we are going to actually talk about how to have a quick and efficient Craigslist campaign. And before I actually get into this, let me talk about one other reason why it's so important to have a condensed posting strategy. In the end, what are most of us? We're internet marketers, we're business owners, whether we have an online, offline business, whatever it is, but we all follow the same type of model. We either have a product or service, and then out here in the world, we have customers and prospects. And then we have some sort of sales funnel, some sort of pre-plan that we have mapped out for once we get a customer, this is how we're going to try to get that customer to pull out their wallet and buy our products. Some of us have multiple products. It doesn't always look exactly like this, but we all have some sort of product or service, and we have customers. A lot of times what happens is the sales funnel stops, but it's not quite reaching the customers, and people have found out that they can use Craigslist to actually get people into their sales funnels. Craigslist gets so much traffic, if you put your ad up, it's going to get exposure. And what happens is some people get so consumed with trying to do this Craigslist, trying to just get more and more people in, it doesn't allow for enough time to focus here. We have to constantly be looking at our sales funnel. So we need to free up our time, not be spending all of our time trying to just use Craigslist, and focus on some other things that matter. So that's another reason why it's just important to always be moving away from Craigslist. But now let's get into actually how you can have a national condensed posting campaign. Let me clean this up a little bit. Alright, what actually ends up causing most of the time consumption is two things we absolutely have to avoid. Number one is your ads getting ghosted. Number two, having to re-verify your accounts. If you remove the fact that some of your ads get ghosted and you don't have to re-verify any of your accounts, you can sit, post, all of it goes live, all of it goes live, all of it goes live, all of it goes live. You're good to go, and you can move on with life. So those are the two things we've got to avoid: ghosting and verification. So let's talk about the different things that could cause you to have to re-verify your account. Number one is going to be having links in your ads. You cannot have links in your ads. If you post links in your ads, it's going to ask you to re-verify your account. Yes, sometimes you may post an ad and it goes up and you got a link in there, but you cannot do it with any sort of consistency without having to re-verify your account. So just because you re-verify your account doesn't mean that it goes up. So when you get into that cycle of constantly being asked to verify your accounts, that means you're probably also getting ghosted. So you have to avoid the ghosting and verification completely. And so we're going to talk about in this video how you get people from Craigslist to where you want them to be without links, but you cannot do it with links. The second thing that's going to cause you to have to re-verify your account is having an IP address that doesn't match the location. Meaning, if you have an IP address in Georgia and you're posting in New York, then it's going to realize that you're not posting locally, and it's going to cause you to re-verify your account. Odds are Ad's going to get ghosted. The next thing is posting your ads in the jobs category. What happens is people get on Craigslist, they get an ad up in the job section, they get this flood of traffic in like few hours, 20 leads comes in, and they're freaking out, and they get this mentality about them, this if only mentality. If only I could post one ad in every single major city in the job section, I could be a millionaire. And the truth is, that's reality. You could make a ton of money if you could do that. The problem is, you can't. I can't. It's designed to keep you from. And if there are people who can, they're not telling anybody. They're just going to get filthy rich. And if you want that, if you want to be able to just post all of your ads in the job section all over the country all the time, get all your ads up, then you're going to have to invest a lot of time and energy and money into figuring that out. And when you actually get there, you're not going to tell anyone. You see, so let's focus on what we can do. And let me actually bring up something else. This is very important here before we go on. Soft blocked accounts. This is what we are talking about in this training. How do you use soft blocked accounts to successfully post? The reason your ads get ghosted, the reason you're constantly having to verify your accounts, is because your accounts are already soft blocked. What that means is you are able to do some things, but what you're able to do is limited. You can't post in the job section anymore. You're soft blocked. So how do you get unsoft blocked? Here's a problem. Okay, this is just one example. Okay, and I'm not going to go into all of the different issues when you get into trying to have accounts that are not soft blocked. But and let's say an IP address 123.45.678.910. Okay, let's just say that's an IP address. And people learn that, hey, if I change my IP address to something different, then my ads start going up again. And so people started changing their IP address. Well, Craigslist realized, well, people are just changing their IP address. And so what they've done is they will block an entire group of IP addresses. So anything 000 through 999 is blocked. Sometimes they will actually block 2 different sets. So you could end up with soft blocked accounts because of nothing that you did, because of somebody else doing things Craigslist didn't want them to do, and they soft blocked your account as well. Okay, so because of the fact that some factors are just out of your control, it's better to focus your mental energy on the things that are inside of your bubble of control. So that's what we're talking about here, how to get this done with soft blocked accounts. So what else can cause you to have to re-verify your accounts? Posting, and I'm really sorry that I'm so sloppy on the whiteboard. Posting too quickly. Let me go ahead and clean this up down here. You cannot post your ads too close together. There has to be space between them. And with one soft block account, you can post 4 to 5 ads a day if you spread them out, okay, per account. But if you post one and then wait 30 seconds later and post another, then wait 30 seconds later, post another, lock up city. So you can't be posting too quickly. And the last thing is duplicate content. If you post an ad and then you post the same ad and the same ad, then you're going to start having to re-verify your accounts. So we're going to talk about how we quickly post boom, 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 making sure that we don't do anything that causes us to re-verify our account. So let's go over each one. Links. How do we get people from Craigslist to where we want them to be? What we've got to do is we have to use a filter. You cannot simply link people to your website anymore. Those days are gone. What you do as a filter, let's say you didn't want to spend any money for a filter, you could put up your ads and it could have the content and it would say for additional information, text the phrase this to this cell phone. And so people who see your ad when they want more information, they pick up their cell phone and they text. People are all about this whole twitting and texting. So you will get a huge response, much more than you probably would think, from just people texting for information. And getting their phone number is like capturing a lead on a capture page where you're just getting their name and email address. You have to go about it a little different way. This little funnel over here, this sales funnel, you may have to redesign your sales process to incorporate a filter. You're going to have to do that. You have to figure out how you're going to filter people from Craigslist to where you want them to be, and how you change your sales process to do that. So one way is through texting, and this works when you don't want to spend any money, but you can't do this on a long term. And this is why, because once you really get good at marketing, later on in this training or in some other videos, you're going to learn all the different ways that I market offline. And once you have thousands and thousands of pieces of marketing out there, it becomes extremely cumbersome for people to be texting you all the time. And so once you actually start to build it up a little bit, it's good to change over to an 888 number where people can either call a pre-recorded message, or you can have intricate phones with different holding options. You can answer live, you can outsource the phone calls. You figure out how you want to work that into your sales funnel. But the 800 number and the text messages are the two biggest ways to be able to filter people off of Craigslist. It'd be nice if we could just send them to our website, but those days are over. So that handles the link. So we're going to be using filters. Now let's address the IP. Hide my ass gives you like 30,000 IP addresses all over the country. You choose the state, you have thousands of IP addresses at your fingertips. You want to change it, you click a button. And I can show you how to automatically have something click the button for you to automate the IP address changing process. They've got little functions in there. So that's the solution for your IP address. It's like $10 a month. So you're looking at an 888 number could cost you anywhere from $20 to $50 a month, and the Hide My Ass service is going to cost you about $10 a month. So to be able to have a campaign where you're posting, you know, anywhere from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 ads a day all over the country, you're going to incur a cost of anywhere from $35 to $65. It depends on what kind of phone options you choose, and we'll go over that in this training. Not this video, but in this training we'll be going over that. So links are taken care of, IP addresses are taken care of. How are we going to keep from posting in the job section? Well, that's the easiest one to fix. Just don't post there anymore. You're going to post in the for sale section, services sections, real estate sections, etc. So that's taken care of. Posting too quickly. Well, this is how you do this. What you do is you have multiple accounts. If you have 25 accounts, you post, it'll take you, I don't know how many, if you were to do one ad per account manually, you probably could do 25 ads in about an hour to an hour and a half, something like that, without the auto poster. And so what would you be looking at there? You'd be looking at, you could sit down for an hour, post 25 ads, and then have each account only posting one ad. So you don't have, so it's not appearing as if you're posting too quickly. And you clear your cookies using CCleaner between each ad, and you are using your Hide My Ass IP service, so each account is being used just once in a day. You're getting 25 ads up all over the country, and so that addresses the posting too quickly, because there's not a lot of activity on any one account. When you change the account, you also change the IP, you also clear the cookies. Then what happens is it appears as if there's no connection. There's one last thing we haven't talked about here, and that's the duplicate content. And this is where you have to have multiple ads. M-U-L-T-I, multiple ads. Once again, sorry about my whiteboard skills. So let me actually give you a little example. Let me clear off some space here, and I'll show you how you would do this on a small scale, okay? And then all you've got to do to turn it from small scale to large scale is add additional accounts. Let me show you, and I'm going to show you with 4. So if you have 4 different accounts, 4 different ads, and of course all of them are going to be using a filter of some sort, 4 different IP addresses, and you're clearing your cookies between each ad. You simply post one ad per account, change your IP, clear your cookies, next account, next ad. Change your IPs, clear your cookies, next account, next ad. Change your IP, clear your cookies, next account, next ad. 4 different ads, 4 different categories, 4 different IPs, all of them using filters, clearing your cookies between each one, and you can boom, 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 boom. So long as we are making sure all of these things are taken care of. In this way you can post 4 ads, none of them get ghosted, all of them go live. Then, What you do to scale that out is simply add accounts. Let's say you had 25 accounts. Let's take away this 4 accounts here and say you had 25 accounts. Notice we don't have to add more ads, and this is how this works. Let's say you go to Texas, okay? You turn on Hide My Ass and you select Texas, okay? So you're sitting there with Texas IPs at your disposal, click a button and it changes. You post an ad 1 with account 1. Change your IP, clear your cookies. You post the second ad with the second account. Change your IPs, clear your cookies. Third for third and fourth for fourth. Once again, change your IP and clearing your cookies. Then what you do is instead of staying in Texas, because the Craigslist is huge and they don't have everything intercrossed and interlaced. They can't be cross-checking every reference. It's impossible because there's so much content. So from there, you pick another state. Let's say you go to New York. You go to Hide My Ass and you change it to New York. You just drop down menu, change it from Texas, choose New York. Now you post the same 4 ads, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the same 4. But because it's in another space, and each ad only got posted once, there's not enough activity with that content for it to cause it to lock up. But now over here, you're posting ad 1, 2, 3, and 4, but you're using account 5, account 6, account 7, and account 8, because remember now we have 25 accounts. So you could sit down for an hour to an hour and a half and just sit there, go to a state, post 4, go to the next state, post 4, go to the next state, post 4, and over an hour to an hour and a half you can sit there and go through one ad per account for 25 accounts. And so there's hardly any activity per account, and we're making sure none of these things trigger a re-verify, and you can sit there and use that each day. And so you're able to sit down, spend a minimal amount of time, get your ads up, and people think, yeah, but you know what? If I get 1 ad up in the job section, I get 25 leads in like a couple of hours. Well, you know what? You could sit there and you could put in an 8-hour day, 10 or 12-hour day trying to get 1 ad up in the job section, and it may not ever happen. Or you can spend 30 minutes or an hour and put up 10 or 20 or 30 ads and get the same response. A lot less time. Staying in bounds, never having to re-verify. It's key though to have access to IPs, and it's key to use a filter. I know that a lot of people don't like that idea, but you just got to mold. I mean, if you're going to be successful, you got to be able to roll with the punches, and you can't link anymore. You have to use a filter. And so we're going to have some information here below this video about different ideas of filters, different ways to get discounts for filters. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. But this is how it's done. This is how it's done. You get this set up, and you can post very quickly. And what's good about this is because we are avoiding the verification. Okay, this right here. Once you are able to do this, this can be imported into automated posting software. Remember, in the free training that you got, automated posting software is pointless if you can't do it manually, but once you're able to do it manually, you can import this information into an auto posting software. You have to invest man hours to do it, but if you're willing to do it, you can get to where? Auto posting. Hope you enjoyed this video today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will continue to keep this page updated, make sure we have good filter options and things of that nature here. A couple quick things I want to throw at you before and cut you loose in this video. 25 accounts is what I kind of mentioned there in the presentation, but that's kind of a lot. And remember that I said with one soft lock account, if you're spreading your post out, you can do 4 or 5 posts per account. So let's say you had 10 accounts. If you posted an ad with account 1 and then posted 9 other ads, the amount of time it would take to post those 9 other ads will be enough of a pause, more than likely, to give this account a rest. So you could just go through the 10, go through the 10, go through the 10. So you could do 30, 40, 50 ads using a lower number of accounts. Now, if you do get prompted to re-verify, it will happen sometimes, I'm sure. Sometimes you'll get a notice to re-verify your account. Just, you can move right on to the next ad, clear your cookies, change the accounts, different ad, move right on, just like normal. And chances are, if you give that account a break, the one that's asking you to re-verify, you give it a break for a day, the next day, even though it did ask you one day, the next day it won't. So just because it asks you to re-verify once doesn't mean that that account's lost. Just give it a little break.